Hey YouTube, I'm ElectricLord3 and welcome to Super Mario 64 vs Crash Bandicoot. Now, a few things I'd like to explain. There's a few reasons why I wanted to do this, because I love both of these games. That's just a quick disclaimer. I don't hate any of these games. They're both great games, and they both have their fair share of good and bad points. But you're about to see basically this list is the reason I did this list is because they came out on different consoles around the same time. Super Mario 64 just came a few months before, and I prefer Super Mario 64, and Super Lego Madness, aka Dominic, prefers Crash Bandicoot, and we were having a debate over which was better, but I still love both of these games. That's just the basic thing I wanted to get off, because I do like them both, but I decided to do a video on taking away absolutely everything and just looking at the facts and my personal opinion and just telling you what I think. So I'm gonna, most of this list will be facts, but quite a bit will be opinion as well. So I'm gonna start off with Super Mario 64, and then Super Mario 64, Super Mario 64's good points and bad points, and then Crash Bandicoot, and then that's good points and bad points. So yeah, let us start. So Super Mario 64 is one of the first 3D platformers around its time, and it is very fun, good gameplay, a lot to explore on this and that. So let's go over the good and bad points. So the good points are, it's a bright and colourful thing. It's quite good to look at. Despite a few smudgy textures here and there, they actually don't look that bad considering the time it came out. And it is filled with loads of colours, and as I just said, it's bright and colourful and nice to look at. It's got some smooth controls. The controls are very nice. There's lots of things to do with the controls, like that you can jump, you can slide, you can ground pound. There's lots to do, and they all work well. It might take a bit of getting used to, but it's still, well, once you get used to them, which doesn't take that long, it's usually quite good. So it also has loads upon loads of well-designed open worlds to explore, and it's got a nice amount of secrets to find as well. And some levels provide fair challenge, and there's loads of things to do. And finally, it has replay value, so considering there are a lot of secrets which are there to find and stuff like that. So that's basically the good points. So now for the bad points. It's still got that basic generic unoriginal story. It's got a lack of good power-ups. It's got boss fights which don't provide much challenge, which are also few and far between, and if you know me, I do like my boss fights. Super Mario Galaxy, though, did have the best boss fights I've seen in any game. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for that, but my favourite boss fights from any games are from the Super Mario Galaxy series. Not because they're very epic, mostly just because they're fun. But in this game, not too much. And it's also got quite a lot of awkward flying controls with the wing cap, which is one of the power-ups, which isn't one of my favourites. It's just the controls are kind of awkward. So now Crash Bandicoot. It is a linear path platformer, which is fun and provides a nice amount of challenge. It came out on the PlayStation 1 in the 90s, and yeah, so let's go over its good points. Good points. It progressively gets more challenging, and the challenge is still fair as it progresses. Sometimes it can be a bit frustrating, but it's still fair. The challenge is still fair. It's not boringly unfair. It might make you rage quit, but it's still fair, so at least you can blame yourself if you lose and not the game. It's got some well-hidden secrets and Easter eggs, which are quite fun to try and find. The character design is unique, and there's not really much like it around that time. It's easy to understand where you're going, considering the linear paths, because in Super Mario 64 sometimes you might get a bit stuck, you might not know where the star is. It's usually quite simple to find out, but in this game, basically, it isn't that. Obviously, it's obvious where you're supposed to go because of how linear the path is. It's got a simple combat system, which works well, surprisingly, because all it really is just spin, but that's still quite good. It's got easy to understand controls, very basic: X, jump, square, attack, and then the directional buttons to move. And finally, it is actually quite addicting and has a lot of replayability considering there are secrets. Now for the Crash Bandicoot bad points. Stiff controls which don't really feel as free as Crash Bandicoot 2 and 3. They feel more stiff and limited compared to Super Mario 64's free and just open wandering around. A bit too much of a basic final boss. Avoid the red things, hit back the green things. I don't know, I just didn't enjoy it that much. Not much to explore other than secrets. Its linear paths don't provide much to really do, but it's still good. There's still things to do, but it just doesn't provide that much to explore. Good graphics for when it came out, but don't feel as colourful and bright as Super Mario 64. Though still good, they seem a lot more dull, and a few noticeable repeated textures now and then. Awful save system, which can lead to rage quitting and frustration. It makes the game a lot less fun, and you feel under pressure because if you lose all your lives, you have to go way back. But then again, a lot of games I love, like New Super Mario Bros. DS, also had an awful save system, so... You know, and finally, a not very well explained story. It's explained well enough, I suppose. I suppose it's also better than Mario's overused princess story, but it still seems basic and, well, you know. So that's basically it. That's my good and bad points for each game, and which one do I prefer? I already said at the beginning. Super Mario 64, but that also doesn't mean that Crash Bandicoot comes close, because Crash Bandicoot is very fun. So there you have it. That's just my opinion. I felt like I just wanted to do a video on this, and this isn't a rant. This is just a comparison and an opinion thing. So thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you want, and I will see you later, Spox. Goodbye.